Hey guys, I want to take a quick look at Gala. Ticker for this is GALA, and I'm currently on the weekly time frame. Now, before I get into this, I should mention that if you're not subscribed and you want to be able to find this channel again in the future, just click subscribe, click the bell, and then click on all. Okay, so I did one analysis of this coin maybe about a couple weeks ago. But if you didn't see that video, I'll just kind of recap what's happening on a macro price scale, and then I'll dial it down to like the daily and then the 1 hour to look for potential trade entries. Okay, so basically what we have here, we had a falling wedge, descending wedge, all the way down here. These typically break bullish, and that's what happened. We broke out. Now, I was not trading this asset at the time. It was actually one of my subscribers that mentioned this coin to me. That's when I first took a look at it, and that was before any of this happened. But if I was trading this, I probably would have expected this to make it up to this level of resistance, this range right here. So it came just short of that. And then the price kind of slowly progressed downwards. And in the process, we kind of formed this down sloping level of resistance. And here, I'll switch it to the daily right now so you can get a better look at this price action. So yeah, we had this down sloping level of resistance. It's actually only well, that's three touches on here, but I imagine that this level of resistance is still going to be in play if the price makes it up here. Okay. In the last video, I mentioned that we had this upsloping level of support right here. And then that kind of combined with this horizontal level of it was support right here, but then when you break this level of support, it was resistance, right? So this formed, it's called an ascending triangle. More often than not, this pattern will break bullish even in a downtrend, but it broke bearish. I think, this is around when Bitcoin dumped. And guys, that's the story on a lot of these coins. We're seeing these bullish pattern formations, but they're breaking to the downside, unfortunately. So, and I mentioned this in other videos, I think we're just in the stage of the market where the big money is trying to shake you out, right? They're trying to make it long, drawn out, boring, annoying, a lot of choppy markets to get people liquidated. And before we have the halving next year and a larger push up to the upside, right? So they want your coins basically. So just if you can withstand this annoying price action, come late 2024, 2025, you'll probably be in good shape, right? Anyway, now that this level of support broke, it's going to be a level of resistance. And as you see right here, when the price came up to it, you see this wick. Sellers basically stepped in and just sold this level, right? So right now we're kind of just in no man's land. We're right in the middle of these two ranges, right? So this being the daily time frame, the lower range on this daily time frame is right around here. I have it drawn out as a range between 0.02117 and 0.020079. So yeah, I mean, now that once you identify these levels, you can basically say like, okay, if the price comes down here, that's your opportunity to enter a long, right? If you want to take the trade, you can basically enter a long, place a stop loss just below here, and then target the upper range. Now I'm going to go back to the weekly time frame, and let's just say theoretically, okay, say the price was able to break this level of resistance, and then this horizontal level of resistance, and then this down sloping level of resistance, right? Then these are going to be your next targets, right? So basically all I did is I ran a Fibonacci tool and I found the levels that lined up with the price action. So you'll see here, you know what, I'll just mark it for you. So this right here, if I just put a horizontal line, see that's the top of this range, right? This high here, that lines up perfectly with the 382 Fib retracement level, okay? The next level I would say is going to be right here, and that lines up at the peak of these two candle bodies. So I'll draw that for you as well. Horizontal line, let's just mark that. Bang, see? Right here. That's the 50% Fibonacci retracement. And then right here, this is the golden pocket. So this is the 618 and the 65%. And I'll just kind of show you how perfectly that lines up as well. Horizontal line. Bang. See? It was support right here. And then you see, okay, well, we have a support level right here. Okay, well, look, it lines up perfectly with this here. So see, look, support here came up with support here, got rejected. And then, yeah, and then here we go right here. This is going to be the 786. And this lines up almost perfectly with this resistance level right here. Now, if I take the fib and I draw it from the top, pull it down to the bottom, bang, see? basically covers all the lines that I just drew. So these are like, this is like perfect complement. So these are going to be the resistance levels on the way up, right? So I imagine the first time, if the price is able to get through all this resistance, then if a price comes up here, the first touch, that's when I would probably be looking for a short position with a tight stop loss. And, you know, since this is going to be a change in trend, I'm not going to get too greedy. I'm not going to short it all the way down to the bottom here. I will just maybe look to take profits probably around right here, right? So I will be very conservative both with my stop loss and my take profit, right? And then again, if it comes up here to the 50, the first time it approaches, that's an opportunity to look for a short as well, tight stop loss, and target this lower range. But again, keep in mind, this is going to be counter trend trading. So it's a little bit riskier. That's why you got to keep your stops tight and your profit targets very conservative. Alternatively, you know, if the price breaks above this 382, kind of comes down, then this is the better trade. This is when you look for a long back up to this 50%. Again, if the price breaks weekly candle close around this range, a long up to this 618, right? So just kind of play these levels, but until that happens, we're still stuck down here, right? So we need to break all these levels of resistance. Obviously, I don't think I mentioned this one here. Draw this horizontal line on the chart if you want to trade this. So a support right here. If I go back, so basically resistance, flip to support, broke down, resistance, resistance. So if you're going to trade this asset, I highly recommend that you draw this horizontal level on your chart, and I have that at 0.02796. Anyway, you could just eye it out, right? Just go on a week, on the daily, or you can do it on a weekly as well, and just eye this level out. You know what? Actually, it's probably easier to draw this one on the daily based on the daily candles. Right here. Basically, identify the tops of these two candles and just draw it right there. Okay, so yeah, right now, would I take a trade based on the weekly or daily time frame? No, because we're right in the middle, and for me to take a trade, I need a tight backstop, right? So I'm not going to buy this right here and then have to put my stop loss all the way down here. So when you see this, if you have a no trade zone on the higher time frames, what you can do is you can go down to the smaller time frames and see if you can find an area to buy that will give you a better stop loss, right? So I'm going to change the chart, and here I am on the 1 hour time frame now. And I've identified these two ranges. So we have this level right here. This is going to be the resistance relative to the price. So you see it was resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. We broke through it here, but I'm not really counting that. I still think we still have a lot of this level still in play, right? So this resistance I have marked out as a range from 0.02402 up to 0.02413. So if the price comes up here, I could potentially take a short position, but when I look at the macro time frame, when I look at the weekly, I'll just go back just to kind of make my point here. When I look at the weekly time frame, what we're seeing happen here is we broke out of this bullish pattern, right? We had an impulsive move to the upside. In the process of putting this impulsive move to the upside, we made a higher high relative to this previous high here, right? And then on the way down, we've made a higher low relative to this low, right? So this is based on the price action right here, this is the starting phases of a new trend, right? So knowing that we're coming into a more bullish trend, shifting from a bearish downtrend to an uptrend, I want to kind of prioritize, if I can, long positions on these smaller time frame charts. Now, I know I just said I'm going to look for short entries at these major Fibonacci levels, but that's just because more often than not, the first time the price comes to this level, it's going to sell off. There's going to be sellers waiting here, and I'm going to be very conservative once again with both my stop loss and my take profit, right? I'm going to try to look for maybe a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio on these trades. Nothing too crazy, nothing too greedy. I want to get in, get out on a quick scalp. And then when I take the longs, in relation to these levels, then I can be a little bit more kind of loose with my take profit, right? I'm going to have a higher take profit. I'm still going to be tight with my stop loss, but I'm going to target the higher ranges because it's more likely to go to the upside because the macro trend is going to be bullish, right? If we start breaking this resistance and heading on up. Okay, so going back to the daily time frame, the 1 hour time frame. Having said that, I'm going to prioritize long positions. So I would rather wait for the price to come down here. If it does, then that's going to be a trade that I'm going to feel more confident in. So say, for example, the price comes back down to this level that has served as support here and here. I could look for a long position, place my stop loss just below these previous lows right here, and then I would target the upper range in this kind of channel that we're in, right? So that would give me a risk reward ratio of 1 to 6. So for every $1 I'm risking, I could potentially get $6.14 in return. So that's a really good risk reward ratio. And in percentage terms, I would risk 1.26% if I was able to buy around this level, and I would potentially gain 7.73% if it ultimately went up and hit my target. So, I'm not seeing that many entries right now on the higher time frame for Gala, unless you just want to buy it and hold it and sell it, a few months from now or maybe a year from now, it's fine. But if you believe in this project, but on the 1 hour time frame, we're in the middle. If I buy now, I can't really have a tight backstop, a tight stop loss. So I'm just going to be patient. If anything, I would probably put an alert in this range. And then if the price makes it down here, then I could look for a long. You could, however, I guess if the price came up to the top of this range, you can look for a short, place a stop loss just above. But it's a lot more risky to short right here than long, because as you can see, we've already broken out of this range once, and we're spending a lot more time in this upper range against this resistance than we are in the lower range against the support, right? So it's just, I think the bulls are stronger in this position. So I would be more cautious looking for a short in this range than I would looking for a long down here. But anyway, just to recap, overall, this price action looks good. On the macro, we broke out of a descending wedge, impulsive move. We're putting in, higher lows and higher highs right now. It looks good for the long term. But yeah, if we're able to break above these levels of resistance, again, that would be this upsloping level of resistance right here, which was support we broke down. Now it's resistance. This horizontal level of resistance and this downsloping level of resistance right here, then these are going to be your next targets, right? The 382, the 50, the golden pocket range, and ultimately the 78.6, all the way up here at around almost 36 cents. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Once again, if you enjoy the content, just click subscribe, click the bell, click on all, and that way you're going to be notified when I release new videos. One thing I should mention, I'm going to start putting a link to the exchange that I'm using in the pinned comment and in the description of the video. I like this exchange because they don't have KYC, but if you're in Canada or the US, they kind of block these regions now. So I'll also put a link to a VPN, a promotion on a VPN. And with that, you can just change your location, right? So I'll give you a hint. United Arab Emirates is very crypto friendly with these exchanges. Okay, guys, that about wraps it up. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.